Hello, in this video we are going to demo Bloomz, which is a communication app that can be used among parents, students, and teachers. It can be web or app-based. It is a little bit better and easier, I think, for the parents and the students to use the app, but teachers or those kind of owning the class, which would probably be the teacher, can use the web or the app, and it allows the teachers to be able to post announcements that are kind of a full blast for anyone who's in the course. It allows them to message privately parents and students. It also allows the teacher to add events to a class calendar. The teacher can also create a sign up for volunteers or needed items. So maybe if you're going on a field trip and I need 4 volunteers, or hey, we're having a class party and I need cookies, cupcakes, and drinks, you can do that so that the parents can sign up via the app to bring things. You can also create a sign up for meetings such as parent-teacher conferences, and it will make different appointment times. So maybe I want appointments between 3 and 4:30 on Thursday and Friday, and I want them in 10-minute increments, and it will create that for you, and the parent can sign up for their appointment through the app. It also allows the teacher to use and post behavior logs and awards, kind of like a class dojo feel, to where they can award a student based upon positive and negative behavior. The parents then can see that progress for their child in the app. The teachers can also post portfolio items for the class or for an individual student, and parents can see that for their child within the app. The teacher can also create photo albums for the class that everyone in the class can see. So let's do a demo and kind of investigate all these different pieces. The first step for the teacher is to go to bloomz.net and create their account. And again, they'll just create their free account using Bloomz to be able to create their class. So they can create an account or already sign in. Notice that there is a different link for a student if the student is enrolling in. But at this point, we're going to be the teacher and we're going to create our own account. So now that you're in your account, you can come down here to the bottom corner and you can change different settings if you want to. So again, password, email, time zone, language, profile settings. You can add your photo if you want to. You can add, this will be a tracking history of anything that you've done in Bloomz. You can change your calendar settings. You can change the notification settings if you want to receive an email or a push notification of any time you do any of this stuff. And again, by default, I believe the email's turned on, so you're getting an email for every action you take in Bloomz, so you may want to turn that off so that you don't get those and everything just runs solely through the app. So next you want to create your class. So down here in the bottom left corner will be a button, and you can choose to either create a new class, or join a group or class that's already been created. So in this case, we're going to create a new class, and we can choose the type of class that we're creating. Again, this is used for classes, for PTA, for after-school care, for religious groups, for all the different things. You can choose whatever you want. We're going to pretend like this is a regular class. You can fill out the class name, the school that it goes to. Of course, you're going to be the teacher in this case. And then you can choose what components you want to use in Bloomz. Remember, there's a behavior management section to where you can reward badges to students. You can use student portfolios, and then parent-to-parent communication. Now, parent-to-parent communication allows them to message each other in the course, which you may want to turn off if you're not comfortable with that. So one plus to using this is parents can message each other, so they can set up maybe car rider picking up with car riders, or message each other about birthdays, or message each other about helping each other with homework or what have you. So there might be a place to allowing parent-to-parent communication, but then again, there might be a place to where the parent is messaging the entire class list, asking for things, or saying things that maybe don't need to be said in the app. So it's up to you to decide. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off for the time being with the parent-to-parent communication. So that would allow them to message you as the teacher, and you can message the parent, but it doesn't allow the parents to message each other. That's something you can choose to do if you want. And then we'll save our class. Now that our class has been created, I can include a logo if I want to for my class. And I can also get the access code. So if students are joining this class, I'll get the access code for students. They actually get a QR code to sign. They would download the app on their device. They would choose that they're a student, and then they would scan and join the class that way. since my students are second graders, I'm not going to have them using the app so much as I'm going to be using it to communicate with parents. So in that case, I'm going to get access codes for parents, and it gives you a nice little parent instruction guide that you can actually print off and give to them that will tell them how to join the course. But basically, they're going to download the Bloomz app. They're going to create their own account. So when they create their own account, it's going to ask for their name. It's also going to ask for their student's name, so it's going to tie them to their child. And then they're going to be asked to put in this class code. And again, you can download these instructions, and it will tell them step by step how to join. You can also manually add the parents into your account, but this is what you can give to them to show them how to connect to Bloomz. You can also choose to approve each person as they join, so that not everyone just gets into your class. You have to approve them once they apply. So that's how you create your class code so that people can join your class. Notice that I got a message up here in the top corner, and someone has requested to be part of this. So it tells me this is Violet O'Hara, and she is a parent. It tells me her email, and I can choose to approve this person. It tells me that her daughter is Daisy. So I'm going to approve that so that she can be added into the course. And again, it's asking me to do that because I selected that they had to be approved that way. So now she's been added into the course. Again, remember, if you need to give somebody the access code, you just come up here to access code for students and for parents. So notice, let's take a little walk through. Your classes will be here on the left side. You can edit the settings for your account in general, or you can edit the settings for your particular class here. So again, that's I can turn on behavior, portfolio, parent-to-parent communication. I can choose what calendar is used, what they have the permissions to be able to do. This is something that you may consider turning off. This would give the parents permission to post to the entire class. I may not want them to be able to do that to make their own posts. I can choose to let them comment on posts if I like to, or I can choose to allow them to create their own photo albums. But I'm going to turn that off for now, and I'll create the photo albums and they can just like them. For behavior, I can choose the different behavior settings. Everything looks pretty good right there by default. And then with students, I can see that Daisy is in my class and Violet is her mom. And then I can see that Violet is my only person that has enrolled in the course right now. So again, those settings I can do for my particular class by down here at the bottom, settings, and then settings for my class. So now I can come up here to create, and notice all the different things that I can create. Let's create an announcement first. An announcement, again, is pinned to the top of the feed for a particular period of time. So it's kind of a very important piece, if you will. So let me make an announcement first. So I can choose what class it's going to. I can show when it's going to be posted or when it's going to be an announcement at the top of the page. And then I can type in what I would like to type in. Keep in mind, you can also add photos, videos, or files if you want to. By default, the parents or students are able to comment on this. You can click this button to disable comments to where they can see it, but they can't actually comment on it. Or I can allow them to comment on it if I like. So we'll post that. It will go to the top. Notice that it will kind of be pinned there. As I add other things that will show up below, but that's kind of pinned there as an announcement. Similar to an announcement is an alert. That is something that is an immediate, it'll be notified as an alert, but it works very similar like an announcement. So I'll create an alert, and again, I just type and post a message. You can also do the photos, video files, allowing for comments if you like, or you can connect it to Facebook and share it that way as well. If the parents have their text messaging or email connected to their account when they set it up, they will also get that notification using when an alert is posted. So if you have like school closings or anything like that, you might want to do that as an alert so that they can get them via text and email if they have their account set up to be able to do so. So I'll post that. It will also show up here in my updates. Notice that it has an alert and that it's posted here. Students or parents can like it or leave a comment if they like, because I allowed for that within the when I created the alert. Notice now that someone liked it and they left a comment. Violet said, "Thanks for reminding us about the holiday." So again, we've talked about announcements and we've talked about alerts. Post is just kind of a regular update. So, just a overall announcement, if you will. And so you can do that by doing the post. You just select who it's going to. You could post it to multiple classes at a time if you wanted to. I'm just going to post it to my one class. And then I give it a title. Remember, I can upload photos, videos, files. I can schedule it to be sent out at a later date if I'm just setting these up as reminders. And then I can allow for comments or not. So in this case, it isn't an emergency. It's just a reminder of class pictures. This is something that I don't want sent out immediately. I want it sent out this coming Monday. So I can choose for the date and time for it to post in the app. So I can just schedule it that way as well. I can allow for comments or not. So then I'll schedule it, and that post will occur on that specific time or day, and it'll post in the feed here. Notice that I can send individual messages as well. So if I need to come up here to the right corner, I can select a particular participant. It tells me who they are and who they're the parent of. And I can send a private message to them. And again, it can just be a little message. It can include a picture. It can include a file if you want to. And again, that is only private between you and that particular parent. Notice if she replies back, it shows up over here on this far right side under the message filter here. And so she replied back. Notice that there is a translate button as well. So moving right along, we've done post, announcements, and alerts. Now you can get down to more of the specialty items. So let's do behavior first. Remember, behavior is something you can turn on or off in the settings area for that particular course. You can choose to use the behavior feature or not if you don't want to. So notice you have some options here on the top. You can create teams or groups of students if they're working in teams for behavior. You can also take attendance this way, so you can come to attendance and you can mark students as present or not. It kind of has the behavior piece has a built-in attendance. You can also create a class goal. So we can say after we earn 100 behavior points, we will have an ice cream party. And we can go ahead and set that goal. And as students are awarded points, it will add up as you go so that you can see this goal being included. So right now, Daisy's the only person in our class. I could award points to the entire class if I wanted to. Maybe they had a great day and they were all very clean. Then I could award them the clean, and it would award everybody in the course the clean points. If Daisy did something in particularly great, I can actually come to Daisy's egg and I can award her a point for following directions. I can even come here and I can put specific notes if I want to. So maybe I want to add a specific note about the homework, and maybe I want to have that as the ready to learn option. So again, I'm awarding points there. Notice that you can do needs work, and that actually subtracts points. So you can subtract points there if you want to for different things as well. If I want, I can choose the student's name and go to your options and do student timeline. And I'm able to see under behavior kind of like a timeline. So she has been awarded 3 points. They were all good points, 100% positive. And I can scroll down and see what those points were when they were provided to the student and what day and time and any notes that were left. Notice that since Daisy's been awarded 3 points towards the class goal, our car has moved up to the 3-point mark. When we get to the 100-point mark for the entire class, we will win the ice cream party. Remember also that the parent can see all of this, what's being awarded to their child, what points they're being given, and what for on their app as well. So again, through the behavior area, you can do attendance, class goals, points. You can also reset points after they make this, after they get the ice cream party, earn the 100 points, you can reset the points, purge them, so you can start over that way. So again, to get back to the main feed, we'll just choose the main feed. That's where all of our announcements and updates are going to be posted. We also have behavior there. We can also get to portfolios this way, or we can choose create and go to portfolio items this way as well. So that's the next option. And again, you can choose to use this or not. You can turn it on or off in the settings area for that class. You can choose to use student portfolios or not. It just depends on what you like. So I can go into Daisy and I can add things to her portfolio. So I can actually come here and I can add a portfolio item. Notice that I can add photos, videos, files, allow for comments, whatever I like. So I'm going to create a portfolio item for Daisy. So I give it a title, a little blurb about what it's about. I can upload it as a file, or I could have dropped in the link, say it's used in Google Docs or it's a Google slide or something like that. I can drop it in there, or I could add the photo or the video as well. I'm going to allow for comments on this one, and I post it and it will be added into Daisy's portfolio. So there it is. This teacher or the parent gets a notification saying, hey, somebody has posted to your child's portfolio, and they can see it as well. So let's add another portfolio item. Remember, you can get to this several places. You can go to portfolio and click on the name of the student, or you can come here to create and do portfolio item and then select your student and add it that way. So multiple places to get to the same thing. So maybe in this case, the student has created a word cloud as an assignment, and I want to add that to her portfolio. So I can come here, I'll just upload the photo from the computer, I'll click to edit it, and I can actually write on it. So I can say, I can actually draw and write on it. I can add arrows to it. I can write on whatever I like to be able to. I can also record a comment on top of it too that the parents will be able to hear when they view it. Then I can choose Done, and it will actually let me add it a description or enter a caption. So for instance, I really like Daisy's use of her word wall, particularly the use of our vocabulary word information technology that we've been studying about this week. So now that recording will be on top of her post that she's created. And then I can post it, and again, that's being added into her portfolio that I'm able to come and see. And again, behavior and portfolio are right there together to be able to track her behavior record and to be able to track her portfolio record. And parents are able to see both. Also, now I can see that her mom left a comment that said thanks for sharing on it because she was able to see it in her app under Daisy's portfolio. So again, that's kind of how the portfolio tool works. You can include images, you can draw on top of the images, you can do an audio recording, you can upload files. So lots of different things you can add to a student's portfolio. So again, we've covered post, announcement, alerts, portfolios, behavior. Attendance is part of behavior to where you can check students in and out. And so now we'll add an event to the calendar. So we'll just come to event. I can choose what class it's going to be added to. And then I just give it a title, location, and any notes I would like. So in this case, we have the second grade play that's coming up. I put the location, a note about it. It's going to be starting on the 23rd from 4:30 to 5. It could be an all-day event, but in this case, it's just in the afternoon. It could be something that repeats, so you could put something like Tuesday folders and have it repeat every Tuesday, just as a reminder that the Tuesday folders are coming out. You can also choose to send a reminder to parents however long before, so we'll just do a day before. We can choose to invite certain people, or we can invite everybody in the class. And then we can also choose to have the people RSVP if I need to. And you can also ask for signups as well. But in this case, that isn't necessary. So we're going to create that event. And that will be added into our class calendar. So we can actually come up here to the calendar, and we should be able to see that on the 23rd we have the play that is occurring, and we can click on it and we can open all the things and see what that's going to involve right there. And you can see how many people were invited. We can see all the things about that particular event right within our class calendar. And again, I can always check back here and notice now that one person said that they were going, and so Violet has marked herself as going to the play. So that again was because I asked for RSVPs. You could add more events by coming here to the calendar, and you can actually just choose an event and add any events, or you can do volunteers or parent-teacher conferences. So now let's create a sign up. We can do sign ups, or we can come over here to create and do volunteer help. So let's say it's for needed items. So let's say that we're having a holiday party and I need some parents to bring some different things. So maybe I've added cookies, a 12-pack. I need 2 people to bring those so that we have a total of 24. I might can come here and add a note No peanuts, please, and update that. I can also add more needed items. So in that case, I've added all the things I need for people to bring. Then I'll choose next, and I can actually create an event for this particular sign up. So I can fill out this information. Maybe it's for a party, the date and time, when reminders need to be sent, and if it would be a repeat, which in this case it wouldn't. I can add it to the calendar. I can invite whoever I need to invite, in this case, everyone. And I can choose a message if I want. So in this case, the party is going to actually be put on the calendar for the 14th, but I want them to sign up by the 25th. So just a little note there. And then it will come to my sign up area so that I can come to signups and I can see I have an active sign up, or I can actually go to the class calendar and see the event. But in addition to the event, the sign up is now connected to that as well. All right, now, so notice under signups, we have some progress has been made. So that means somebody has signed up. And I can come in and see that one set of cupcakes was signed up for, and Violet said that she will bring vanilla cupcakes. So she did sign up for that. So that is apparent on the sign up. Also, if I go to the calendar and look at our date, I can see also here that the sign up is connected to the calendar, and I can also see that Violet has signed up. So that is one type of sign up you can create. Again, if we need to make another sign up, I can come to signups and create, and maybe I want to create a new volunteer, and maybe I need people this time. In this case, I'm going to have a volunteer for people instead of items, and I'm looking for field trip supervisors, and I put a note that they must ride the bus with us, so I'm in need of people this time. Then I can make a calendar item for that. Make sure I don't want it to go on my personal calendar. I want it to go on the class calendar so everyone else can see it. In this case, we're going on a zoo field trip. I include any notes. I put the start and end date of the trip, and I'm able to invite everyone just so that they get the message. And again, I can include an optional message if I like, but that will get added since it was a sign up. It'll get added to our sign up areas. But notice that since it was related to a calendar event, it also gets added to the calendar. So they can sign up through the calendar or sign up through the signups area. So notice now I see that 3 people are needed. That means somebody signed up. I can come down and see that Violet has signed up to be a supervisor for there. So we're just in need of 3 more people. So again, that goes to the sign up area, and that also goes to the class calendar. So that addresses most of the things that you can do. We've talked about post, announcements, alerts, portfolios, behavior, events, and volunteers. The portfolios and behavior kind of go together in the same area. Events and volunteers kind of go together in the same area. So let's do a parent-teacher conference. It doesn't necessarily have to be a parent-teacher conference. It can be any meeting that you're wanting to have individually or in groups with the different parents. But in this case, we'll do parent-teacher conferences, and we'll name it for third 9 weeks, since usually you have more than one, and we'll put it in my classroom, and it's going to be on this particular calendar. And now let me add some dates. So we're going to do parent-teacher conferences on the 12th and the 13th. They can start at, I'm going to do them all after school, so they can start at 3, not 3 a.m. They can start at 3 p.m. and go until 4:30, not a.m. They can do 4:30 p.m. If they were during the day, I could make breaks. I could choose a break to where when the break starts and ends, if I was doing them during regular hours. I want the slot duration to only be 10 minutes, but I would like a 5-minute break between to let me regroup. Only one group can sign up at a time. Only one group can sign up at a time, and I do want to keep the signups private, so I don't want them to know that Mrs. Jones is coming on 3:30 at 3:30 on the 13th. I don't want them to see each other's signups, and so I can include any notes I want. And I can choose to remind yourself. So I'm going to remind myself a day before the event that these are the people that are coming. So again, I kind of created my own little sign up. I'm going to do next, and notice I can see that it's going to auto create a sign-ups for between 3 and 4:25. It's giving me 5 minutes in between. So I have all these different slots, so 6 slots on 2 different days. I can add another opening if I choose to, but I'm happy with that. I'm going to send it to everybody, And I can change that if I want to, the jargon of what it's being sent to them to do, or I can just leave it the same. And it's going to send them an email notification to let them know. They can also see it through the app that I need them to come in and sign up for a parent teacher conference. Even though they are a little bit different than the signups for people and for donations, they do fall up under the signups here. So you can see our signups for people, our signups for the party, but then also you see the parent teacher conference signup goes under there as well. I can see that somebody signed up, so I can come here and I can see that Violet signed up for the 3:15 to 3:25 option here. I can also see that they've been added to my calendar in addition to all the other things that I've been adding as well, and I can click on those and see who's signed up for the different appointments. If someone hasn't scheduled or a couple of people have not scheduled yet, I can come to options for this particular event and send a reminder and choose to send a reminder to everyone who hasn't signed up to please go ahead and sign up for that particular event, which happens to be a parent teacher conference. So the last thing is the adding of photos and photo albums and media. So we've talked about the feed here. I talked about updates. We've talked about the calendar. So here under the media tool, you can actually upload photo albums or documents for the students. So if you had a particular document that you wanted to upload, maybe you can actually put it in your class folder and upload maybe, different files they might need, forms that they have to sign, that kind of thing. You can also come and create an album. So I can create a media album, and maybe it's field trip photos. I can share it with just certain parents or certain groups, or I can share it with the entire class if I want to. And I can choose if the parents can contribute their own photos and upload their own photos that they might have taken or not. And then basically it's like a Facebook album. I come in, I add my photos, and everyone's able to see them. So I've added the photos, and then teachers or parents can come in and do the comments, or they can like them. And again, that is located under the media section. Here under media, we can add photos, albums, or documents to the photo area. So again, that's kind of a basic review of all the different tools that you can use with Bloomz, which is quite a lot. It's kind of a robust program that can be used. And again, the parents mainly just need to download the Bloomz app, create their account, use the access code to get into your course, and then they'll kind of get notifications for all the different things that you're doing.